Yeah, we bring reviews of your house, talk to our dudes of your house. I bring my views of your house, wrestling truths of your house. We talk to you in your house, we keeps it cool in your house, we keeps it cool in your house. I'm spitting truths in your house. Yes, Mark's hating on his fast, Becky Nish on the man. Play with two like a lice, household a dangerous alliance. I am a diamond like Cody, and I'm overcoming like Kobe. No, they cannot hold me. Come listen, I'm hosting, critiquing, I'm boasting. This wrestling I'm knowing.
This area is under a level 2 quarantine. Please limit your contact with other personnel as much as possible.
This is Austin Theory of Evolve, and you're listening to the In Your House podcast.
This is NXT's Dominic Dijakovic, and you are listening to the In Your House podcast.
This is AEW's Darby Allin, and you're listening to In Your House podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to In Your House, starring Alakon House. This is the People's Podcast. Hey guys, you already know who it is. It's your boy Con, ready to give you that work. When it comes to this professional wrestling business, that is what we do, and hey, we love it. So let me let you guys know where you guys can listen to this at. You guys can listen to this at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Himalaya. Hey, you don't have an Apple device? That's alright. We're on Google Play. Anywhere that you guys are, we can get to you. And ooh, where is the clock? I'm checking the time because last time that I checked, In Your House was the hottest professional wrestling podcast in the Midwest, because he hit him with that wargity, round the clock. You guys already know what it is. Oh yes, the director is in the house and in your house, and you guys already know what it is, guys. We hitting you with a new episode of In Your House as we are approaching the new season. That's season 2 of In Your House, and approaching 200 episodes. We've already hit 10,000 downloads, and guys, the hits just keep on coming. So guys, we got a big episode, a two-parter as it were, actually, and for episodes this big, I can't do it alone, you guys. But there is something first that I have to address before I bring my guest in. Our boy Hutch, you can tell that he's not here on the show, and he hasn't been available really, guys. But I just want to quickly touch on that. Now, we're not in the business. We don't put anybody's info out there or anything like that. But he kind of went on social media, and old Hutch he's going through some stuff right now, man. I just wanted to come out here on In Your House in front of the household and let him know that myself, all the team In Your House, and everybody in the household has his back. We're thinking about you, bro. We love you. You take all the time that you need to get yourself straight, and when you come back, In Your House will be right here waiting on you, bro. So Hutch isn't here. He's getting himself together, and mental health and self-care is so important. But we just wanted to throw out there that we're thinking about you, bro, and you get yourself together and we all love you. Now that that's been out the way, let me go ahead and let you guys know who we do have on the show here, and stepping on in for what is going to be a fantastic episode, because it is going to be the In Your House Fantasy Draft, episode 1, where we go through the first 5 picks of our draft, and it's been a fun draft. And here to throw their picks out there is the BMWF, and that includes reporter Drake Kennedy. How's it going, bro?
It's going. It was going really well until I just got the worst cramp in my foot. But it's going great. I'm ready to get the show started and draft some picks and kick your guys' factions and teams and shows' asses.
Man, but first you're going to have to get that cramp at your foot, bro. Potassium. You need a banana. Oh, man. But, of course, you have your business partner there, your fellow booker there in the BMWF, and that's the controversial mermaid, Ariel. How are you doing?
I'm good, Con. How are you?
Doing good. Glad to have you guys back on, of course.
Obviously, we love being here.
True.
Yes, and we love to have you here. Now, I have to introduce my business partner for the HWA. That's the Household Wrestling Alliance, and that is the other part of the Fabulous Direction, and that is Miss Fabulosity, Miss Kayla K. How are you doing?
I'm good. Kind of chaotic day, but hey, getting through it. And I swear, that we're definitely partners, because I was going to tell him as soon as he said he had a cramp, I was going to tell him he needed to get a banana in him.
Oh, man. I don't know if he wants it in that way. I think it has to go in orally.
Yeah, I heard he can take it deep. It's fine.
Oh man, but who we don't have on the show here, and he is the representative of the Globo Gym Purple Cobras, and that is Docs. Docs is a little busy right now, so he'll be here for episode 2, so I'm going to go ahead and throw his draft picks out there, and I'm going to do my very best to give a brief synopsis as to why Docs would pick those superstars that he did. And he'll come in episode 2 and he'll give you the correct analysis if I'm wrong, but I'm going to give you the best that I possibly can. Now, let me go ahead and quickly break down how this draft worked and how it all went down. There were 4 teams, Household. There were 4 teams. There was the HWA, the BMWF, the Purple Cobras, and then we also had friends of the show come in, and that is the Hot Dog and a Handshake podcast. That is Sean Coletta and Michael DeVore, and they came in and they threw some picks out there too. So for the first 10 rounds, because we really made this interesting, guys, and I just got to say this real quick, Household, I really thoroughly enjoyed doing this. We were in the group chat that all of Team In Your House is in, and we've all had a complete blast doing this. I mean, it's been so fun to do this for the last week or so, and now that we've got all the picks out there, it's time to go ahead and break it on down, and it's going to be fun. I'm excited about it. Now, the order went like this for the first 10 rounds. The number 1 overall pick went to the Purple Cobras, and then the number 2 pick went to the HWA. The number 3 pick went to the BMWF, and the number 4 pick went to the Hot Dog and a Handshake podcast. So we had a pool of 52 wrestlers. We added a couple more so we can extend it, because we were just going to do 10 rounds, you guys, but we had so many wrestlers in the pool that we went ahead and extended it out to 13 rounds, and it was great. Nobody got left behind, and it was just a complete blast. So now that we've kind of broken it down a little bit, are you guys ready? You guys ready to do this thing?
Yeah, let's do
Yes,
it.
sir.
All right, all right. So now we're gonna go ahead and get into it, and we're like I said, we're gonna do two parts. We're gonna do 2-part episodes here, and we do intend to give you guys some wrestling content as far as what went down on Dynamite and everything. That's gonna come in another episode because we gotta. We're real transparent here at In Your House. My old ass has to be at work really early in the morning, so we're gonna just go ahead and break this draft down, get episode 1 knocked out, get you guys some Friday morning content because that's when this is dropping, guys. It's gonna be Friday morning, 6 a.m. So put In Your House in your ears while you are driving to work, or maybe you're just chilling at home during the quarantine. And if you're doing that, just make sure that you're being safe, wash your ass, and wash your hands. So we're going to go ahead and take it to the number 1 overall pick that went to Docs and the Purple Cobras. And I mean, you're not going to get much better than a number 1 pick than this. Talk about a guy that has absolute intensity, a guy that has absolute strength, a guy that looks like a freak. I mean, he's legitimate. He has an MMA background. This is all true, guys. This is all true. And knowing him, he's a stand-up guy too, a stand-up guy. And he's a guy that you definitely want in your locker room. He's marketable. Everything about this guy screams number 1 overall pick. So I wasn't shocked when Docs and the Purple Cobras picked with the number 1 overall pick, that is, the Takeover, Justin Kyle. Man, what a pick. That is a hell of a pick. I'll go ahead and throw it over to I'm going to throw it over to reporter Drake Kennedy. What did you think about that pick? Justin Kyle is the number 1 pick.
It was a killer pick. I wasn't quite expecting it, but Doc, you can't expect anything from Doc. He's so unpredictable.
Sure. He's unpredictable, bro. Oh man,
That's
but
fact.
Yeah, it was a great pick. Like I said, to me, it makes sense. It goes hand in hand for that pick because everything that Justin Kyle gives you, his intensity there. In the local indie scene, I can't think of anybody as intense as the Takeover Justin Kyle. He's a freak athlete. The guy is just insane. So great pick. Definitely a great first round overall pick for the Purple Cobras, and that's a great start. But now we're going to continue the first round here, guys, and this is the second pick in the first round, and that goes to the HWA, the Household Wrestling Alliance. So, Miss Fabulosity, can you go ahead and let the household know who the HWA picked with the second overall pick?
I don't know if they really want to hear it, though. Do you guys really think that the household wants to hear about the sport? I'm totally just playing, guys. Totally just playing. So, with that being said, we definitely, I will say, as far as Doc's pick, let me just go ahead and address that really fast. Mm-hmm. We were looking at him for Justin Kyle. I honestly think that he was a great pick overall. So I'm not mad about that by any means. So definitely shout out to that. Alrighty. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to address the Fabulous Directions first pick. You ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so for the Fabulous Directions number 1 pick, we went ahead and we chose a guy who has a great character. He has a great atmosphere around him. He knows how to cut promos. He has a great moveset, and we believe that he has a lot of talent that is going to go far. With that being said, we picked Paragon as our number 1 pick for the Fabulous Directions.
The Vanglorious one, Paragon. Yes. And, there was a lot of reasons why I wanted to pick Paragon and get him off the board as quickly as possible. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there in the household heard our interview with Paragon just it was a couple months ago, and I gotta say this. The kid with a mic in his hand is money. I mean, he's a star in the making. He's very, very young at the age of 24, and the HWA is looking for a youth movement. We're looking for young talent to groom towards the future, and I really feel like that we've got the total package with somebody like Paragon. He's very, very charismatic. He's great in the ring. He's got a great character look. I mean, you talk about Lord Beerus with a mixture of The Rock, with a mixture of Dave Chappelle, with a mixture of so many different great personalities. He's got it all to me, man. And to me, I would push him like our Chris Jericho, like our Dwayne Johnson. He could be anywhere on the card, and Paragon is going to own wherever he is at on the card. So that is why I picked with our number 1 overall pick, which is the number 2 pick in the draft. We picked Paragon because I think that the kid is going to be a star, and I would totally build our promotion around him. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to the number 3 pick. The number 3 pick, but the number 1 pick for the BMWF, and that's Drake and Ariel. So who did you guys have for your number 1 pick?
Our number 1 pick. We've had them on the show. Mm-hmm. They were a wonderful interview. If you know me and listen to any episode I'm on, I've been known to push the hell out of these guys. I want to get them booked everywhere. Yeah. They're the meanest assholes in the state of Indiana, and I love the hell out of them. And they're none other than Mean Dick Michaels and Tyler Lytle, the original Sins.
Man, good pick.
Good. You know it. Had to come in hot.
Oh, man. So how would you push those guys in your tag division for BMWF?
How would I push them? They push themselves. Have you seen those kids work?
Oh, trust me. I've seen them work. They're amazing.
Are you kidding me? It's like, you think I have to do anything? Shit, it's like, I don't need any heat from Tyler and Dick. It's like, you've seen the way they work over Earl. I'm not about to get that heat. Those boys will do what they want. They'll just run the place. So I'm just there, backing them up.
True, man. See, the more that I see them, the more that I get this, like, maybe not the height. It's not the height, because they're definitely not as tall as these guys, but the attitude, I get the outsiders feel from them. I don't know why, but that Scott Hall, Kevin Nash type cool asshole vibe, that's what I get from them, the outsiders. I think definitely that's a tag team that would run roughshod over your tag division, bro.
I completely agree with your analysis. I don't think I've ever thought that, but they what was it? What are they radiate an ooze machismo. You know what I mean?
Do, yeah, yep. They do. I agree with that. It's a great first round overall pick for you guys, and it makes sense that you want to get them off the board as quickly as possible because, they haven't even reached their prime yet. So you want to lock them down because in about 2 or 3 years, maybe not even that, they're going to be one of the hottest tag teams in the local scene. So that's a great first round overall pick for the BMWF, but that's number 3 in this draft. And now we're going to move on to number 4, which is the Hot Dog and a Handshake podcast. And they kept it in the tag division too with the great team that is hitting their stride. They're a lot closer to their prime than the original Sins are, I think, but that's just because they've been wrestling longer and they've been to so many different places. And these guys, not only do they have unique characters, but they're amazing in the ring. As far as tag teams go, I definitely look at these guys and I think of teams that you've seen over the years. I think of Dudley Boys. I think of the Edge and Christians. I think of the I think of the Hardy Boys, maybe not in the sense of the style or anything, but the fact that the longevity that they have tagging together, and that's so important, and that is chemistry. And they have a very unique character, so they're entertaining outside of the ring and entertaining inside of the ring. And the Hot Dog and a Handshake podcast went ahead and picked the Gym Nasty Boys, and they are absolutely incredible. So, Drake, what was you thinking about that pick? The Gym Nasty Boys got him off the board quick.
Yeah, I was definitely hurt by that one. That was one of my picks. I definitely wanted the Gym Nasty Boys for my tag division. So I have a lot of heat with the Hot Dog and a Handshake podcast for that pick. But it is a killer pick. Good on them.
Yeah, it was a great pick. I mean, I really, like, for me, I was kind of thinking in my mind that the tag teams were going to we're gonna not I don't want to, this isn't the right terminology, it's not fall by the wayside, but I thought that they would definitely get picked later on in the draft, because I thought everybody would kind of focus on trying to find that one main event player, which is exactly what I was trying to do, and I feel like Docs was doing the same. You want that main event player. But there's nothing wrong, because I love tag team wrestling, so it makes sense why you want to get the best tag teams off the board as quickly as possible. So now we're going to move on to round 2. We're in round 2, guys. We are in round 2. And before we get into round 2, guys, I want to let you guys know we are definitely still listened to in 14 different countries all across these great United States and locally right here in Indiana. So, guys, it's been a little bit since we dropped the episode. But if you think that the hotness that is In Your House is going anywhere, guys, you better think again, because In Your House is here to stay. So now we are in round 2, and this brought up Docs and the Purple Cobras, and this pick hurt my soul. Hurt my soul so bad, because, man, obviously I've managed this guy. Obviously he's been one of the top downloads on In Your House on Spotify. He's a great locker room leader. He's a great wrestler. He's been wrestling for 16 years. And he's just like, he has a presence about him. He's a professional. He's great in the locker room, great in the ring, great on the mic, can play heel, can play face. Anything that you need him to do, he does it. And he doesn't give you any pushback, because, once again, guys, he is a professional. And he's your NWP champion. That's the right hand of God, Sam Knight. So that was a really, really great pick. Ariel, what was you thinking about the Purple Cobras taking Sam Knight, and Doc's having heat with Sam Knight, but him putting those personal feelings aside and taking the right hand of God?
Man, that was dirty. He did you dirty.
So wrong.
I mean, we're not going to lie, though. We wanted Sam, too, but he got picked before we could get to him, so we just cut our losses. But your boy was a hot commodity.
Yeah, I was hoping he was still there in the second round, and I really, to be honest with you, I really thought that I was going to be able to get him, because I honestly didn't think in a million years Docs was going to take him. I thought that he was going to bypass him completely, and when I saw the list of talent in this in this wrestler pool, I thought, yeah, Sam is one of the guys in this draft, but there's other guys that I think Docs would push, but the way I'm thinking Docs is, the way I feel like Docs is thinking, and I know that if I'm wrong, he'll correct me on the next podcast, is that there's going to be a lot of money, and there has been a lot of money in the Justin Kyle and Sam Knight feud. So smart thinking and smart booking by Docs. Definitely, as much as that pick hurt me, I get it. I totally get it. So now we're moving right along to our pick. It's the number 2 pick in the second round. That's the HWA. That's the Household Wrestling Alliance. And since I went ahead and let Miss Fabulosity go ahead and talk us into our number 1 pick, I'm going to go ahead and talk us into our number 2 pick. Now, this guy right here, he's featured prominently on MLW, but MLW is still an indie promotion. I want to be clear about that, guys, that it's still an indie promotion. He's everywhere this guy goes, he's a major player. He's been the Bizarro Lucha champion before. He is very prominent in death matches. He's a big death match guy. But that's not why I picked him. I picked him because he's relatable. I picked him because when I see this guy, and I've seen him at numerous different shows, he reminds me of a newer version or a modern version of Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's just a good old boy. And you gotta have somebody that's relatable. You gotta have somebody that the crowd can get behind. And when he comes out, the crowd gets behind him. And I would really love to have this guy. This would be my main event. It would be Paragon as my Rock. And it would be this next pick as my Stone Cold, and this next pick is Mance Warner. Oof, yes, Mance Warner. What are you thinking about? What do you think about that pick there, Drake? Mance Warner.
That's a heater. That is a heater pick, my friend, and I'm jealous. There's so many good talents. I feel like we're just gonna run in circles with each other's picks because that's what we were doing in the group chat. We were all getting upset with each other over our picks because there was so many talented talents in this group that we had to struggle to pick through. But yeah, that was a killer pick by you guys. That's damn awesome.
I mean, with Sam being off the board, I couldn't let Manser stay there a minute longer. And like I said, I'd push him as my Stone Cold. Has a great character, is that good old boy, lariats and light beer, getting to the pay window. He's relatable. He's a great wrestler. He's good on the mic. He engages the crowd. Manser is definitely somebody that I can push in the main event scene. And I'm very, very, very happy with that pick. Miss Fabulosity, I kind of feel like you feel the same way.
I do agree. I think that it's going to be very interesting to see how we can play it out and see what the fans think about who has the best faction, because he is definitely an interesting character. And like you said, it's kind of like the Stone Cold. So right now, like you said, we have like the Chris Jericho or the Rock, and we now have a Stone Cold. So, I mean, it just became the game. But, yeah, I'm definitely happy with it.
Absolutely. It's a great pick, and I wanted to go with, like, for the HWA, I wanted to go with not just great in-ring characters, but people who can tell you a story outside of the ring with their characters, too. And that is kind of why I picked the first two that I did, and, of course, cleared them with my business partner there. But now it's time to go to the BMWF, and it's time for you guys to hit us with your number 2 pick in the second round.
All right, so I'm going to be taking this one.
Mm-hmm.
So, we had to get our boys off the board because, we knew that we needed a good tag division. And so we thought for our second pick, we needed someone that was going to be a leader, that was going to be able to, rally everyone in the back, get everyone going. And so we thought we'd go for a real heavy hitter for our second pick, and we went with Mr. Sefa Fatu.
Oh, great pick. Fantastic pick. I think that pick hurt Kayla Sue a little bit.
I was about to ask that. Kayla, does that hurt? Does that sting?
It does, you asshole. It really does. You know I love my Samoans, and I love Usos. I love them all. And damn it, you took Seth, and he is a great talent, asshole.
Oh, he's fantastic.
I'm sorry, Kayla.
Oh, man. So you see, I almost didn't put him in this pool because he's actually based out of California, but he's come to the Midwest and wrestled so much that I had to put him on there. So it's a great pick, and you know what you're gonna get. I mean, to me, it's a safe pick too, because you know what you're gonna get with Sefa Fatu. Look at the legacy. Look at the family that he comes from. You guys saw him in that. You guys saw him in that main event where he tag team up with Sam Knight. It's a safe pick. He's a super great talent. We all know that at some point, it's not a matter of if, but it's a matter of when he goes to that next level. So it's a really great pick.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it a lot.
Now, moving over to the Hot Dog and a Handshake podcast, they had their second pick, and their second pick is somebody that Sean Coletta and Michael DeVore, they're very familiar with this guy. Now, this guy had a complete transformation on his body. I had a chance to call his action at Heroes and Legends 13 in the main event in the cage match, and he's a freak athlete. And it's definitely somebody that you can run in the main event, and that's Russ Jones. Russell Jones, somebody who, like I said, really transformed himself. He's a good wrestler. He looks scary. I mean, you can definitely use this guy as like a heater for a smaller wrestler, almost kind of like how Wardlow is for MJF, or how Diesel was for Shawn Michaels. He's a beast, man. He's an absolute beast. So that's a really, really good pick. And I feel like that that the Hot Dog and a Handshake podcast, they really wanted to get some of their guys off the board, and they really got a lot of their guys off the board. But you guys will see that, and we're only doing 5 rounds this episode, you guys. 5 rounds, and then we're gonna do the remainder of it in a different episode. So now it's time for round 3, and round 3 is now taking us back to the Purple Cobras for Docs. Now, once again, I'm gonna try to speak for Docs here, but I feel like I'm gonna be spot on with this one for his third pick. His first pick in the third round, but it's his third pick overall here. Now, we all know, everybody on this podcast and everybody who listens to this podcast that's a wrestling fan knows that the women's division in any promotion is pivotal. It's important. You want to have a strong women's division because women's wrestling is the hottest wrestling out there right now, as it should be, because the women just kill it in the ring. I really enjoy women's wrestling, and it's definitely a different vibe than the men, but they do it so good. You want to have a cornerstone. You want to have somebody young that you can help grow and get into, where they want to be at. Somebody that stands out. And I really feel like that Docs had a great pick here as far as a standout here. Very, very young, but already very talented, very quirky, and she's just a blast. She's just a blast to watch wrestle. I mean, I've had a blast calling her matches and just watching her do her thing. And that is the young boat, that Space Jesus, Billy Starks. That's a clutch pick right there. Now, I know Miss Fabulosity's got a chance to see Billy Starks. Why don't you go ahead and speak on that pick a little bit? What do you think about the Purple Cobras picking up Billy Starks?
I think it was a smart decision and a really good investment because, like you've already stated, I mean, she definitely is very talented. Just for her young age, she's not only is she talented, she seems to have the concept of know how to be a great performer. So you have to obviously interact with the crowds and everything. She's been able to do that from what I've seen. She has a great moveset. She knows how to work with other people for tag teams, and obviously she's over here just putting that work in and doing behind the scenes and helping out on everything that needs to be done at just such a young age. And it's really admirable. So I think it's a great pick.
I agree too, and it's going to take some time. It's going to take, to be quite frank, it's going to take a long time. But once she gets to that age and she's put in enough time, she could very well be a locker room leader. But she's very young right now, and even at her young age, you can tell that when she goes out there and wrestles, she's just having fun. And at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's about having fun. And when I see her out there, I can see a kid that's having a legitimate good time, and that makes me happy. That makes me happy to see the generation behind us enjoying wrestling so much. So that's very, very cool to me. Great pick by Docs and the Purple Cobras, but now we're going to move on. And this is going to be the second pick in the third round, and that's going to be the HWA. That's us, the Household Wrestling Alliance. Now, I know that Kayla hasn't seen this guy too much, so I'm going to speak on him. You want to talk about a guy that has blown me away every single time that I've seen him in the ring. You want to talk about a guy that I mean, for all intents and purposes, he's a big guy. He's a big guy. But the things that I've seen him do is ridiculous. It does not make any sense. I mean, he's a super heavyweight, but he moves like a cruiserweight. He chops you as hard as Crispin Benoit chops. I mean, I've been at Bizarro Lucha and been right outside of that ring, and I've seen him chop a man, and I felt it. He hurt my chest. So when I see this guy, I think about pushing him as my Keith Lee. I think about pushing him as my super heavyweight. And I was super just thrilled to see that he was still on the board. And it's our great pleasure here at the Household Wrestling Alliance to pick with our third pick in the draft, Heavyweight Hustle, Calvin Tankman. Now, I don't know if you got a chance to see much of him, Drake, but if you have, what do you think about Calvin Tankman?
I haven't seen too much. I have seen clips on the good old internet, on Facebook, and he is one heavy hitter. You're not wrong as a killer pick from your guys' side. Man, and you got to think about it. It was late last year. Yeah, it was late last year, I believe. He was down there in Florida. He was down there at the Performance Center training to become a WWE superstar. He is an investment. He's somebody that I think is going to go far, and he's somebody who I think understands what he has to do to get to where he wants to be. I love Calvin Tankman. He's a former interview here on In Your House. He's got a great mindset. He's just a fantastic talent. So HWA is happy to have Heavyweight Hustle. So now we're going from HWA and we're going to the BMWF. This is their number 3 pick. So it's their pick in the third round. BMWF, who do you guys got? Our third pick, the big number 3. Somebody we wanted as soon as we saw the list. As soon as I got the list, I was like, this guy's name better be on here. And if not, I'm driving to Khan's house, despite the quarantine. Now I'm going to put it on the list myself. But luckily, Khan knew what was good for him, and he put this man on the list. But if you know Ariel and I at all, we're super into horror and dark things, and so is this man. This man is unpredictable. He's a wild child. I have seen him at different events scare people in the front row, have them back off, moving their chair backwards so they're not close to him. He is a threatening man, and that is none other than Taylor Myers. Great pick. And the reason that I think it's a great pick, man, is because Taylor Myers, when I've spoken to him, he gets what I love about wrestling. There's a lot of things I love about wrestling, you guys, but he gets the big thing that really hooks me in is a great character. And even though he's very young, I don't even think he's in his 20s yet. I do believe he's still 18 or 19. It's one of the two. But the kid understands what it takes to be a character. And characters are so important. And I also think that he's willing to be wherever he needs to be on the card. That's a great pick. I think you guys got a good investment with Taylor Myers. I think we did too. That kid, he's so good. He's a heavy hitter. He knows what he's doing at such a young age, and I really think he's going to go super far in the wrestling business, so we had to scoop him. I don't blame you. I definitely don't blame you, because like I said, he's character based, and that's everything to me. I mean, you got to be a great wrestler too, but if you don't have a great character, why should people care? And I honestly think that Taylor Myers has a great character. Now, moving over to the Hot Dog and a Handshake podcast, this is their number 3 pick, and they went to the women's division. We kept it in the women's division. As Docs went there, well, they went there too. But this time, they took a very savvy veteran. Somebody, she just loves to fight. She's great in the locker room.
A lot of people call her their wrestling mom, and that's very cool because you can be safe with somebody like that. There's a lot of shenanigans in wrestling, you guys. For you guys that don't understand the backstage stuff like we at In Your House do, we've seen it, we've followed it. There's a lot of shenanigans. You got to be able to have people around you that you can trust. But it's not just about that. This chick is tough. When I called her match at Heroes and Legends 13 and she went up against Max the Impaler, her knee was hurt. She was injured and she still wrestled. And that says a lot about her toughness, that says a lot about her grit, and that says a lot about her personality. So I think this was a great pick for the Hot Dog and Handshake podcast to pick the amazing Maria. And that's a really, really solid pick. Good pick there. If she was still available, I would have took her, especially for the whole locker room thing that I was talking about, because she's great in the locker room. But she wasn't there. It's okay. It's all right. But moving on now, guys, we're moving on to round 4. And guys, before we go ahead and go to round 4, we're gonna go ahead and hit the sponsor up. We got to pay some bills here. But when we come back, we're gonna do the last 2 rounds. Hey guys, this is the director, Con House, of In Your House, and this episode is sponsored by Podcorn. Podcorn is a marketplace connecting podcasters to amazing podcast sponsorship opportunities such as host read ads, interview segments, topical discussions, and more. With Podcorn, there is no middleman. Podcasters of all sizes can browse and choose opportunities right on the platform, set their own rates, and collaborate with brands directly without any exclusivities. You never give up any rights to your podcast, and Podcorn is here to support you at every step to ensure you're protected and compensated for the work that you do for brands. The marketplace mission is to give podcasters transparency, creative control, and freedom, and full control of how and when they monetize. So check the show notes on this episode and you will see a link to www.podcorn.com/podcasters. But now it's time to get back to In Your House. Hey guys, welcome back to In Your House with the director, Con House. You guys know I've got team In Your House, and they got my back, and I got their back too. But right now, our backs are up against the wall here because we are all against each other. That's right, guys. Team In Your House has split into different promotions. We're all going into business for ourselves here, and we're looking to try to make the most money here as possible. And that's why we are doing the In Your House Fantasy Draft, as we all have gone through already 3 rounds. It's been 3 rounds, and 3 rounds of quality picks. I personally think the HWA has got the edge over everybody, but hey, what do I know? I only host a 5-star podcast. But guys, we are here in the 4th round now. And now it is time for the Purple Cobras to go up, and that is Doc's. And I can definitely absolutely speak on his number 4 pick. This pick hurt my soul because I had big plans for this guy. You want to talk about a guy who just gets what it is to be a heel, and he's trying his best to keep kayfabe alive. The dude just keeps it all the way real all the time. I call him the public enemy of professional wrestling. We've seen what he's capable of. Everybody here has pretty much seen what he's capable of. If you saw that last New Wave show, and he doesn't care who he's giving the smoke to, male, female, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. And that is the sinister and sickening Shiloh Greaves. So, what do you guys think about that pick? I'll throw it over to the controversial mermaid. What do you think about the pick of Shiloh Greaves?
Listen, I'm so mad that he picked him because I was gonna pick him.
Oh, he's such a great heel.
Listen, no, I messaged Drake immediately, and I was like, dude, this ruins everything.
Oh man, I was gonna push him as a top heel if I was able to get him.
Same.
I figured, man. He took him off the board. I feel like I should have tried to get him earlier, but I really thought he was gonna slip through the cracks, and he didn't. It stinks, but it's a really good pick for the Purple Cobras, because now they have somebody that's, can be just a top heel. And I feel bad for Sam, man, because everywhere Sam goes, Shiloh seems to follow him. It never ends. It never ends. But with this number 4 pick, Docs went ahead and took Shiloh Greaves, which pushes it over to the HWA, and that is the Household Wrestling Alliance. And I'm very, very happy with this pick, and I feel like Kayla feels the same. We wanted to have somebody to build our women's division around. We wanted to have somebody that we feel like works hard, that we feel like it has a future, and I feel all these things about this young lady. Not only is she a tough chick, she'll go in there and she'll step in the ring, woman, man, it doesn't matter. But she was on the bad side of a Shiloh Greaves clothesline, and to me, in my personal opinion, and I kind of feel like some of Team In Your House will feel the same. This young lady and Shiloh Greaves have had one of the most entertaining social media feuds that I've seen. They're always going at each other's throats, and so I'm very happy and thrilled to say that the HWA, with our number 4 pick, we've selected Becky Idol. Drake, what do you think about that pick?
I think it's a great pick. I'm going to also speak for Doc, and I'm sure he is pissed off at you for taking Becky Idol, so he can't have Shiloh and Becky go at it. But that's a killer pick, guys.
Oh, man. I talked to Kayla about it, and I feel like that she kind of was in agreement that we needed somebody to be strong in the women's division. And I like Billy Starks. I think Billy is great, but I just really feel like Becky Idol was that happy medium. She's a little bit older, and yeah, she might not have the background that Billy Starks does, but God, that girl works so damn hard. Wouldn't you agree there, Kayla?
Yeah, I do. From the little bit that I've seen of her, and obviously just seeing how she interacts with herself on Facebook, and obviously, as you already stated, the whole Shiloh and her feed. It was just she puts her heart into it, and she definitely makes it work for whatever it is, whether it is a storyline, or if it's a match, or just trying to help others out. It seems that she's there, and she's willing to put the work in. And yes, she's new, but there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that being new takes away from talent.
Exactly, yeah. She's got a great personality, great in-ring, and she's going to go really, really far in her career, so I'm very happy with that pick. But with that being said, we're going to jump it on over to the BMWF. It is their number 4 pick. Drake and Ariel, who do you guys got for us?
All right, so for our 4th pick, we wanted to go with another heavy hitter, someone who's young but knows what they're doing, has a little bit more experience, because we've seen him on 205 Live. So we went with Mr. Corey Storm.
Ooh, there's a storm brewing, and this might be one of the greatest sleeper picks in the entire draft, because Corey Storm is absolutely phenomenal. One of the best young kids that I've ever had a chance to call their action. He's got a great head on his shoulders, great in-ring talent. He's already done so much in his young age, so much, as Ariel already stated, already been on 205 Live. He's won championships in OVW, and I don't think he could even legally drink yet. His resume is so stacked. Guys, that's a fantastic pick for picking Category 5, Corey Storm.
Absolutely.
Oh, Man,
I was eyeballing him. I said, this makes the jump.
I wanted him. I wanted him, but it was just another one of those. It was another one of those picks where I was like, maybe he'll still be there, but he wasn't. So it's a great pick. Like I said, I stand by what I said, that he could possibly be one of the biggest sleepers in this draft. And he's with the BMWF now, guys. So there's a lot of options there. That'd be, man, Corey Storm versus Seth Fatu. Shut up and take my money, seriously. But the Hot Dog and a Handshake podcast, they're up with their number 4 pick, and it's like I kind of said earlier, that they're kind of sticking with their boys, their guys that they know. And why would you not take this guy? He's one of the strongest in this draft. You know, you got your Justin Kyles and you got your Sam Knights, but this next guy, the things that I've seen, the feats of strength that I've seen this guy do is absolutely insane. He's always working on his body. He's a freak athlete, and he's got a very cool character. And guys, with the number 4 pick, the Hot Dog and Handshake podcast selected the Iron Demon, Shane Mercer. Now that was a hell of a pick. I don't know if anybody else has seen any of Shane Mercer's work, but I absolutely have, and he's one of the strongest guys in the local independent wrestling scene. So that's a really, really, really good pick. So now we're moving right along. We're moving to the 5th round, which will be the last round of this episode, guys. But don't worry, we'll be back with another episode. This is what you call leaving a hook. This is a cliffhanger. We've got plenty more rounds for you guys here, and you guys are going to have a great, great time. But now we're in the 5th round, final round for this episode, and it's going to go to the Purple Cobras. Now, I kind of feel like Docs was currying a little favor with this pick, because he has a friendship with this wrestler, but that's not to take anything away from her overall talent. The first time I got a chance to see her was in DCCW, and I got a chance to call her action, and she absolutely just jumped off the mat to me. She's got a presence about her. She's got a very, very cool character, kind of a split personality type of character. But we've also had her on the show for the mental match card, and she's very, very cool, very awesome young lady, very creative. And he wanted to really fill out that women's division, and why would he not? I mean, this young lady versus Billy Starks you can go to any local promotion and they could be fighting for the women's championship, because they're both this good. And with the 5th pick for the Purple Cobras, they selected Charlie Cruel. Now, I'm not sure if Ariel or Drake has ever had a chance to see Charlie Cruel, but what do you guys think about that pick?
Yeah, I haven't had the chance to see Charlie Cruel yet. I'm gonna have to look up some matches and clips on the internet and see if I can find anything on YouTube or Facebook. I know you're really good for that. You always hit me with links, so.
Oh yeah, you'll thoroughly enjoy her. Kayla, did you get a chance to see Charlie Cruel?
I did. I was actually about to pipe in.
Yeah, go ahead.
I actually think if they would have seen her, they would have tried to steal her for before Docs even got a chance to, which one would have been a great pick because she's talented, but obviously another thing because it would have hurt Docs. But she to me, she comes off with that horror vibe.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I liked her. I liked her character as soon as she came out. I immediately liked it. I liked her movesets and everything. She commanded the attention in the ring and outside of the ring, and I enjoyed it. I've only seen her once. I will say that I've only seen her once as far as in person. I've watched a couple of her matches, like on Facebook, but yeah, as far as actually seeing her in person, I've only seen her once, but I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, she's really good. And what you said as far as if the BMWF would have actually got a chance to see her, they probably would have took her off the board earlier because she's got that whole horror vibe, and she's also just an excellent young in-ring talent. So absolutely great pick. Charlie Cruel's off the board, and that's going to move it over to the HWA, and that is the House Hold Wrestling Alliance. Now, I have to harken back to when I said that the Amazing Maria is fantastic in the locker room. A great locker room presence. Sam Knight, another guy that is just a gem in the locker room. You want to have somebody in your locker room that is going to just, that is almost going to be like the judge, the jury, and the executioner. Somebody who's going to make sure that everything stays in line. Somebody that's going to make sure that the younger talent is listening and not getting too cocky. And also make sure that things don't get out of line in the locker room, because with all those egos in the same locker room, tempers can flare. And you have to have somebody there to kind of calm things down, to make sure that it's almost like you got to have that Undertaker in the locker room. There it is right there. You got to have that Undertaker in the locker room. Somebody that's going to be like, hey, cut the crap, cut the bullshit. And this next pick is absolutely somebody that is a locker room leader. I say that with the utmost passion and the utmost heart, because I've been in a locker room with him a couple of times. And when he spoke, everybody shut the fuck up and listened. And not only that, the man is a main eventer. Anywhere that he's been, he's main evented. He's also been featured on Impact Wrestling at some point. And he's a freak. For the things that I've seen him do, he's an absolute freak athlete. He's also a great guy. And he's somebody that you can do so much with him on your show. So I was very, very happy. I was very, very happy to be able to get this guy, and that is the monster, Congo Kong. Drake, I feel like you may have some input on that, but you know anything about Congo Kong?
I know it's a heavy hitter. I don't know too much. I'm clueless, Con. Let me know. Tell me all about it.
Congo Kong, man. He's a big man. Look him up. Look up some of his stuff. He's had so much good matches. He's been there. He's been there in Heroes and Legends. He's been at Impact. He's been at New Wave. You name it, he's been there. And he's just a guy that you definitely... let me put it to you like this. He also runs a wrestling school, and he's a well of knowledge. He's a well of knowledge. He's went up against... the people that he's went up against, Abyss in a Monsters Ball match. He's went up against Johnny Impact, of course, John Morrison. He's been around the block and back, bro. Like, anywhere that you can think of, he's been there. And if you think of names, he's probably faced him. He's gone up against the real world heavyweight champion Nick Aldis. Eli Drake. He's went up against Eli Drake at some point. Like I said, the guy, his resume just goes so deep. He's main evented at so many different places. I had to get him off the board, bro. I had to get Congo off the board. If you ever get a chance to check out any of his stuff, just go to YouTube, type in Congo Kong, and you'll see why this guy is special.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. I just looked up a photo of him on Facebook, and that is one scary man, to say the least.
Yes, and I was so happy to get him. But now we're going to move on to the number 5 pick for the BMWF. What do you got?
What do we got for round number 5? We decided to go with a man who's, he's a little mean. He's a great follow on Twitter. If you don't follow this man, he's constantly putting out his controversial opinions and getting heat from people, and he doesn't give a shit when he does. He's not afraid to get in people's faces in the crowd. He's just a bad man, and that man is none other than Nick Iggy.
Oh man, great pick, Nick Iggy. Probably besides Shiloh Greaves, probably one of the best heels that you could have got, because I've seen Nick Iggy a lot. And he's also, he's a good faction leader. He's been part of the Carnies. He's been part of the Carnies with Trip Cassidy. Also, he's been part of The Office. But you talk about a guy who goes in there and he soaks the hate in, bro. Like, some heels, like, react to the hate. He reacts to it, but he soaks it in. Like, he's like, give me your hate. I want all of it. I mean, he is a fantastic heel, and he's great on the mic. You guys really got to gym in Nick Iggy.
Yeah, you said it best, man. He really does absorb all the heat and all the anger and frustration that the crowd expresses to him, and he loves it. And I love the fact that he loves it. So that's why he had to be our pick, had to pull him off.
That's a good pick, man, because I still remember, I remember I was at a Bizarro Lucha show, and they were having an unlucky 13 battle royal, and he was there, and he's already I think he's the only 2-time Bizarro Lucha champion, and if I'm wrong, you guys out there in the household correct me on that, but I think he's the only 2-time Bizarro Lucha champion, and he was at the last 2 or 3 in that battle royal, and the thought that he might win this thing to get another shot at the Bizarro Lucha Championship, the crowd was pissed. Now, I'll say this, when he did finally get eliminated and he didn't win, there was a collective sigh of relief from the entire Bizarro Lucha universe, Luchaverse that is, because they hate him so much. He knows how to draw real hate and real emotion out of fans. You guys got a hell of a pick with Nick Iggy. Great, fantastic pick from you guys.
Yeah, I would completely agree. Thank you very much for congratulating us on our perfect pick.
And now for the very last pick here on this episode of In Your House. This episode 1 of the In Your House fantasy draft, the Hot Dog and a Handshake podcast. And once again, they kept it with their guys, but this guy is he's special, man. He's very, very special, and he's also of the Samoan descent. And he's not part of that specific dynasty, but he is of the descent. Now, the guy works hard. He's a hard worker, and I got it. He was also in that main event that I called for Heroes and Legends 13 and got a chance to talk to him, and he's a real stand-up guy. He looks great. I do believe he's a former football player and transitioned into professional wrestling and transitioned very, very well, might I add. And that's the flowing Samoan Anthony Toatelli. Great pick. I mean, you can't really go wrong with those Samoans, man, and that's just the honest truth there. You can't really go wrong with them, and that was really a great pick. So with that being said, we're going to call this one, guys. We're going to call this a really great episode. That was the first 5 rounds of the In Your House fantasy draft, and we're going to give you guys the next episode, most definitely, and you guys are going to thoroughly enjoy it. So until then, we're going to go ahead and throw it over. We'll throw it over to the controversial mermaid Ariel. We don't have Miss Fabulosity on the line anymore. She informed me that we lost her. So I'll just go ahead and say that, of course, you can find her on Facebook. She's also on Twitter. And she's not on Twitter too much. But if you do want to follow her, it's Miss Kayla K IYH, and just hit her up, see if you have any opinions or you want to chop it up with her about music or wrestling or anything like that. She's there, and it is what it is. She's a great person to talk wrestling with, and it's always great to have the ladies' input on the wrestling. It's always cool to have a chick on your arm that loves wrestling just as much as you do. And I feel like Drake feels the same way, because now I'm going to throw it over to his lady, and that's the controversial mermaid Ariel. Why don't you go ahead and plug it?
All right, so I need way more of a Twitter following, so please go follow me. My Twitter handle is mermaidstar, and star has 2 R's. So yeah, go follow me and listen to me tweet about dumb shit, because that's all I do.
Hey, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Guys, go give her a follow. She needs more of a Twitter following, and we definitely want to try to help her out with that because it's definitely been helping out Hutch. She's almost at 1,000, and that's pretty awesome. But I'm going to throw it over to my man, reporter Drake Kennedy. Go ahead and plug it, man.
Yeah, if you guys want to catch me talking about, anything possibly going on in the world or wrestling, of course, obviously, movies, music, any media, anything, follow me on Twitter at Drake Reports IYH. I'd love to talk with everybody and chat it up. Also, go follow Mikey Hutch on Twitter. That dude's almost at 1,000 followers, and he's hit that. He's been grinding really hard on the Twitter game after me giving him a ton of shit about his boomer Twitter and him deleting the boomer Twitter and getting the new one, and he's been killing the game. So go follow Mikey Hutch, too.
Absolutely. Yeah, he has, man. He's been pushing it really hard. Guys, if you get a chance to, of course, go follow Prince Paradox on Twitter, Docs on the Rocks. It's going to be very, very toxic, or as he likes to call it, doxic. But, guys, he's your favorite part of the problem. Wish we could have got him on this episode, but, real life calls, and I'm sure he'll be on the next episode. That's one thing I can say about Docs is that he's not just going to miss an episode just to miss it. He's been very dedicated to this podcast, as has Hutch, as has Drake, as has Ariel, and everybody else that makes this thing work. So, guys, that was part number 1 of our big draft that we're doing. And guys, I just have to say this in the spirit of our boy Mikey Hutch. Hey, it doesn't matter what you guys watch. It doesn't matter what you guys vibe with, whether it be AEW, WWE, Ring of Honor, New Wave Pro, Impact Wrestling. Go check out anything that you like, man. And guys, it doesn't matter because we are one. And guys, that is one of the great slogans of this show from our man, Mikey Hutch. We love you, bro, and we're thinking about you. But we're going to go ahead and call this a great episode. Great first 5 rounds. And it is going to be fantastic when we continue this on episode 2 because we're going to get out that work. So let me let you guys know who you guys can listen to this at. You guys can listen to this at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Himalaya. Hey, you don't have an Apple device? That's all right. We're on Google Play. Anywhere that you guys are, we can get to you. Guys, this was just part 1 of the draft. We're going to hit you with part 2, and it is going to be great. We're going to talk a lot more wrestling, and we're going to try to push a lot more episodes out there. Hey, guys, what are you doing? Buy a freaking shirt. That's www.prowrestlingtees.com/inyourhouse. Get this work. Get this shirt. And, guys, we tell you this all the time. Hop on this bandwagon. Get on or get gone. Because the household, well, we still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great weekend. Peace.